We welcome you to today's Q&A session, and it is being watched from all over the world, from many continents and many countries. So we want to welcome you all. It may be morning, good morning, maybe afternoon or evening, whatever it is, but welcome. So we'll start with a prayer. Well, let me introduce first the Yogacharyas before we start. So first of all, I want to welcome John Thomas Baba. He is from Brazil and he has been in New York, Florida, but now he's in Brazil. So welcome, Baba. And we have Srinidhi Baba from Denver, Colorado. So I want to welcome you as well. And I'm from a suburb of Los Angeles called Claremont Upland. So I am from Los Angeles, California. So we all welcome you. Before we get started, I would request Srinidhi Baba to start with a prayer. So please lead us.
Sure, Baba. Om Brahmanandam Paramasakadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadusham Tatpamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Namami Sadgurum Tam Namami. I bow to Supreme Almighty God. On this auspicious day of the birthday of Lord Krishna, I remember and bow down to Sri Lord Krishna. I bow down to saints and sages of all times, of all places. I bow down to our beautiful lineage of Yoga masters, in particular to my Gurudev, Baba Paramahamsa Hariharanandji, and my Guruji Paramahamsa Pragyanji. I bow down to the Yogacharyas. I bow down to the divinity within you all. Jai Guru.
So we will get started with Q&A. I will ask the questions and one of three of us or all of us will then respond. There are some questions which are technique related, and as per Guru's mandate, we will not be discussing technique related questions in this session. So in that case, what we'll do is we'll directly correspond with the person who has asked that question. So you get your question answered, but not through this platform with a direct email. So with that, let's get started. The first question is from Austin, Texas. And the question is that, can you give me any suggestions to help if I have let my daily Kriya practice fall away for weeks or months? How about Srinidhi Baba, if you take that question?
Sure. Basically, anytime that you stop the practice, it takes considerable effort to restart because the mind has gotten used to being lazy, so to speak, right? And not being able to practice. So what I would do is, first of all, there's a technique called micro step. So what you do is you convince the mind saying, let me just do a bow, just a bow, nothing more. Okay. So you start out with the bow. So do a sincere bow. When you do that bow, the mind starts to slowly get used to, doing the bow. If the mind still rebels and not to do it, okay, for that moment, but try to, convince the mind as, oh, well, let's do the next technique and so on. So what it helps is this micro steps helps you to kind of trigger and initiate that process of practice and getting rid of laziness. Now, one thing you could do also is do Mahamudra by itself, just because a lot of times the Mahamudra energizes you, and that energization helps you to start the practice as well. So do that, and then you can do the rest of the techniques just as the teachers have given to you, and you can skip Muhammad because you have already done that. So that's another way to do it. Thirdly, of course, make sure that the things that distract you, like your phone or other things that constantly distract you, keep them away. Keep them away, far away, so that you don't get disturbed by them. So those are some of my suggestions.
Thank you, Baba. Excellent. John Baba, would you like to add to that?
I think it is excellent what Baba said. The thing is, sometimes people feel very disappointed in themselves. So they should understand that the nature of the mind is this confusion and gets all caught up. So brush yourself off, get back up on the horse, and do it. One thing, for you not to be very unhappy, Lahiri Baba said, if you don't practice Kriya one day, you go back two. So catch up. If it's good for you to do, as Baba said, start little by little, get back in. Okay? Once you are, don't forget, the gurus are behind you. They're there to help you. And this was the promise that they made. So they are reaching out to you. So you reach out and you catch them, and then you go forward. That's all.
Great advice. Just add a little bit to it is remember the day you got initiated, how you felt, very divine, very determined to do this meditation every day. Over time, for whatever reason, the external distractions or whatever the other reasons, you may have stopped practicing. Still, the desire is that you are asking this question. So you have the desire, you just have fallen off. So one way to infuse that spiritual feelings again into what you had during initiation, one option would be attend weekly meditation. Go to an intensive somewhere nearby, right? We have intensives happening all over, almost every month there is intensive somewhere, or every other month. We have retreats going on. Go to a retreat. All those things will again get you back into that mood. So that's another thing I wanted to say. It would be good at least once a year to keep that spiritual feeling. Attend intensive where Guruji is there. Slowly our practice might be a little bit going down. Practicing it could be again elevated with attending intensive, especially if Guruji is there. It'll be a great opportunity to again be in the presence of Guruji and again evoke that spirituality in you. So with that, I'm going to the second question is from Houston, Texas. And the question is, if one has COVID, can you still do your Kriya to the extent you are comfortable with? So I'll take that question. Yes, you can do Kriya with COVID or other illness as long as you are comfortable. And if you are not comfortable and you cannot practice the whole all Kriya techniques, you could pick and choose the ones you can, where you are comfortable with. You can at least keep the Guruji and Gurudev in your mind and concentrate in the fontanelle and do shorter Kriya as you feel comfortable. Srinidhi Baba, John Baba, please, you have anything to add?
I just have one thing, and actually it's a little story, because sometimes we're not feeling well and things like that, and the mind loves to use that. We should never stop our practice. I'll tell you one story. Years back, when I was a Yogacharya in Miami, a gentleman came to be initiated. He was paraplegic fully. He could move his fingers of the electric chair and a little of his head. He asked if he could be initiated. I said, of course. So he was initiated. When we got to the techniques, and I told him, I said, Baba, you do these mentally. I know you can. Doing them, he's watching them. When we got to, I won't go into technique, but Kriya Pranayam, he looked and I saw he was starting to cry. I said, Baba, you all right? He said, Baba, that I can do. So I said, so Baba, you do that all day long, is every time, every moment. You see, Kriya gives a chance to everyone, even in sickness and not feeling good and having some trouble. It's only our mind that says, no, I can't do anything. Do something. Do something. Here you have a severe case of a man who he could physically not do anything. He could not. But breathe, he could do. And as long as we are breathing, gurus are there to help us. So always do something. Always practice something.
Excellent. Srinidhi Baba?
Good, Baba. You're good.
Okay. The next question is from Austin, Texas. Is it possible for Kriyavans who practices sincerely the first Kriya only to avoid return to the physical plane after death? In other words, can you reach the highest state with only doing the first Kriya? So, Srinidhi, John Baba, you want to take that one?
Yeah. The quick answer is yes. But more important than that, I think you should understand what first Kriya is. We should never think like when we do karate and we get different belts and colored belts and we want to go higher. That's not the purpose. First Kriya is the gateway. It's the gateway to realization. Many times, even Gurudev would say, everything you have in first Kriya, you can be fully realized. Everything depends on your desire, your discipline, and this connection. Remember, you are connecting. So first Kriya, what are you trying to do? We're trying to connect with the divine. So the quick answer is yes. But remember, Guru's always said, heredity, environment, and culture. So each one of us, we come with some karma, past lives or in this life. This is our heredity. We come from a different place. Everybody's not exactly the same. We come from a different place on our spiritual journey. And environment is when you're initiated, you have your practice, you are connected with Guru, and you study and you develop that, and this is your culture. What you bring to it. Culture is 50%. Baba used to divide them into percentages. Heredity was 20%, environment was 30%, and then culture was 50%. So in other words, yes. So your purpose should be that. You came to Kriya for something, and it was not by accident. So you came to Kriya, and in first Kriya, you go forward. Your objective should be connection with the divine. That should be the objective, not just not come back again and things like that. Make it bigger. Make it bigger. And so, yes, Baba, you don't have to go higher steps. It's not like that. It's not something. Sometimes we have seen people, even with higher Kriya, they have fallen. So we should never get too proud. Oh, I have this Kriya and this one has this Kriya. Foolishness. Once you're initiated, this is the gateway. So practice nicely. That's what I would say.
Excellent, Baba. Srinidhi Baba?
Yeah, John Baba has given a beautiful answer there. So let me add to that. Back, Lahiri Baba had a disciple who came to him and said, can you give me a second Kriya? And Lahiri Baba said, do one thing, you follow this postman, his name was Vrinda Bhagat. He said, please follow him. Just keep a distance and follow him and observe him from a distance and see how he is. And so this other disciple followed Vrinda Bhagat, found this postman was in super bliss all the time. He was doing his job, very nicely. At the same time, he was in such a great joy and, bliss that, anybody could see it. So later on, this other disciple approached Vrinda Bhagat and said, "Are you a disciple of Lahiri Baba?" And he said, "Yes, I am." And he said, "Can I ask you what you're practicing?" He said, "First Kriya." He said, "Don't you need a higher Kriya?" He said, "Oh my God, first Kriya itself takes me so much. I don't need anything else." So in fact, Lahiri Baba would call him Vrunda Hegates, which means he is floating in the ocean of divine bliss. So that was the nature. So clearly, Lahiri Baba showed him that the first Kriya is the foundation. The foundation takes you to the ultimate state. In fact, I would refer the audience to the book called Divine Quest, where Gurudev has answered a lot of these questions, including this one, where he says, first Kriya itself is that foundation that can take you all the way to the very ultimate state. So don't worry about higher Kriyas. Like John Baba says, this is not karate where you go to get a black belt, red belt, black belt, and so on. Just do what you have, and it I can assure you, it will take you to that highest state. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba. So the next question is from Bolingbrook, Illinois. And the question is more about the prayer. She's asking, Guru is omnipresent. So towards the end of sadhana or meditation, when we bow down and thank Guru and masters and say some affirmations, is it okay to ask for few things from Guru? For example, few material things or for work or end of suffering or strength to handle challenges? Or is it inappropriate as Guru is omnipresent? He knows disciple challenges and will give him his grace and direction and guidance all the time without asking. In other words, the question is, should we verbalize and ask questions or ask specific things during our prayer, or should we just ask for Guru's grace and guidance? Okay, John Baba, you want to take that?
Yeah, Baba, I like this question, because both ways are correct. But to understand why, if you are a loving son or a loving daughter, can you not go to your mother and say, Mama, please, I need certain things? Mama knows what you need. Still, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. And we as adults, there's nothing wrong and say, oh, this has been such a hard phase. I need some more work. Help me support my family. There's nothing wrong, or whatever it is. But in time, in the maturity of the practice and the realization that Guru is already within, God is within, he truly knows, then yes, he'll be taking care of everything. They promised us in your initiation that they would take care. But so the short answer would be, surely you could ask something with love, you ask as a loving child. But then in time, when we're not children anymore, spiritually, we mature, then we understand that everything is being taken care of. Okay? That would be a simple answer.
Srinidhi Baba?
Yeah, Baba answered very beautifully. Basically, like he said, both are fine. Asking explicitly is not an issue. In fact, during the initiation, we talk about initiation flower, where we say, use that initiation flower after your meditation to keep on your head and pray for whoever you want to pray for, or for whatever reasons that you want to pray for. So that shows that, Gurus have already said, it's not an issue to pray for something. Even when you go back to some of the stories of meditators who have, who have been seeking something from God, and you'll see from those stories, when God, appears in front of them, even though God knows what the person is really asking for, he asks, what do you like? What do you want? and the person would express it. So there is a direct expression still. But remember, you may ask for something, but the gurus and God knows better. They'll give you the one that is most appropriate for you, rather than the one that you think is the one that you need. Thank you.
Thank you. So God may say yes, and gurus may say yes, may say no, or may say maybe later. It reminds me, thinking of prayer in our meditation, the saying I remembered in meditation, God talks and we listen, and in prayers, we talk and God listens. So the next question is uh, resolving conflicts, and it says, for householders and professionals engaged in work and world as they continue the path of sadhana and one feels calm and clear, how does one handle the conflict with their loved ones and at work, working with the professionals? We have to make sometimes tough decisions while we are working. And in my opinion, the path of sadhana makes you more calm and clear, but the people surrounding you are probably not on the same page. How does handle these challenges specifically for the business decisions? So Srinidhi Baba, would you take that one?
Yes, Baba. I'm speaking from my experience. I worked 41 years in the industry, and retired recently. So the thing is, what I find is that when you are in peace and calmness, and if you exude that peace and calmness in your actions and speech, then actually, the people around you, whether it's co-workers, they could be educated reasons, but still they would be receptive. They will notice that you are, even in difficult situations, you have that peace and calmness and approach things in that, and they will they in turn, that influences them to be becoming calm and peaceful. In fact, many times in my own work, people have asked me like, how come you're so calm in these situations? And I was like, just my practice of meditation, that's all. And so the other thing is, if you're making decisions, make sure those decisions are done in a very careful manner, without any kind of partiality, but based upon the strengths of the folks that you're making the decisions for. Sometimes these decisions may not be received very well, so show them the positive aspects of the decisions and how to overcome what the negatives are. So as long as you approach the person with that love, with that peace and calmness, you will see that they are able to achieve that. I have been in that kind of positions many times in my work, and I have been able to manage those kind of things. Now, always be positive in your outlook. It's important. Don't allow, even if there's some negative thoughts that come, make sure that you counter those and then show the positive aspects to your people. Now, it's not a different thing between work or home. Home, the same thing applies. Your peace and calmness at home will also be recognized. So you should walk your talk. Okay, so you need to show you are always peace and calm. And if there is a time when you do get perturbed, don't react immediately. That's the important thing, to hold back. We mentioned it during Kriya, your tongue roll back, so that if there is something that you have to react, at least the tongue has what it unrolls and reacts. So make sure that peace and calmness is constant. It takes practice, but it can be done. And the gurus, whenever you need, are there to help. Seek the guru's help and guidance and proceed. Thank you.
John Baba, you have anything to
I-
add?
Yeah, but even though everything was very well explained by Srinidhi Baba, but uh, and what I like what Baba said, this is not just in business decisions, it's home and everything. Okay, challenges come. What are the challenges? Challenges are for us to grow, for us to wrestle and handle, but from a position of strength and calmness in the middle. I used to think always in Miami and Florida, we live with hurricanes. Always. You take a look at a hurricane. Outside is crazy and full of destruction, but in the center, the eye of the hurricane is calm, is quiet, and peaceful. So our more meditation, more sadhana, we go towards the center in our lives. So then when we observe everything happening, we observe from that position of calmness and peace. And so when decisions are made, as Baba would say, you make your decisions based on that. But understand that the nature of the world out there is this disruption and challenge and things, you know. So, you know, I always think of Lahiri Baba. Lahiri Baba taught us how to live in the world without being swallowed by that world. He was in the midst, in the thick of it, not sitting up in a mountain, in the thick of it, exactly to show this, exactly to show this. In business and that, and even after he was retired, he didn't have enough money. He needed some extra money, so he did tutoring and things like that. The family he made sure he took care of. Meanwhile, he never skimped on his spiritual practice. So he showed us that it is possible, that everything does go around. We can't change the world like that. First, we work on changing ourselves. And then we could make good, calm decisions. But Baba, I agree with you. It's in everything. It's in business and home and all kinds of things. Yes, that's true, Baba. That's true.
Well said. Moving on to the next question. Can anyone experience some negative effects of doing Kriya in initial phases, and how does one overcome that? So the negative effects of Kriya, especially during the initial phases, uh, Guruji and Gurudev and Gurus have promised that there is no negative effect of Kriya Yoga. Kriya Yoga is a technique which is the way it is designed. It is not there to hurt anybody in any way. So it's a guarantee from the masters that it will not create any negative effect on you. If let's say you're doing the technique correctly, in that case, maybe you would not get 100% benefit. Maybe you'll get 80% benefits. But it will not be negative. It won't affect negatively on you. If physically, if there is a pain somewhere, like in the eyes or headache or something, then it is not because of Kriya, but it is the technique being done wrong. So if that's the case, you may want to talk to someone, a teacher, about this so that they can teach you the technique correctly. So techniques will not cause any pain in any part of the body. So if it does, initially you may be doing it wrong and get that corrected. As far as because you're doing it initially, there may be a lot of different feelings may come out, more thoughts are coming out, and you may see that as a negative effect. But in reality, it is our many years and many past lives, all the experiences and our our nature and our mind and all those things, all the garbage we are carrying over many lives. Some of that may be in subconscious and may come out more. And but it is part of the process, and you over time work them out and they become less. So with that,
I'll
John
go.
Baba,
Right, Baba.
No, just very quickly. I have never heard about negative effects from Kriya. I would just as a general phrase. One time we did a big program, a Kriya program in Brazil, and that we would come down from Miami to do. Somehow one fella that I initiated, he found my email. I don't know how he got it. And he wrote to me after 2 weeks. He said, this Kriya is ruining my life. I'm not sleeping. I barely can work. Everything is agitated. This is a miserable technique. So I said, oh my. So I wrote to this fellow, say, what's going on? Aha. I discovered that in the same week he was initiating Kriya Yoga, he was initiated with something else, and he was blending them nicely. So I said, listen, choose. I don't know these other things that you're doing. I know Kriya. Kriya does none of that. When you get a path, you do it nicely. You be dedicated. You follow correctly. If you choose Kriya, you will see the benefits, not these other things that you're talking. So again, I had to tell that fellow something that I've always said. I've never seen a negative effect from Kriya itself at all.
Really great example. Srinidhi Baba.
Yeah, like the teachers have mentioned, there's no negative effect of Kriya. Now, one of the things that, the important aspect to recognize, Kriya is not just a formal practice that you do. It is to cultivate a way of life where you keep that peace and calmness, and also make sure that you counter your natural innate negative aspects within you. So what you need to do is do that self-study first. Understand what are the things that are, that are strengths in you, the weaknesses in you. You can do this. In fact, the wonderful thing is we have the 5 lower chakras. You can see from their specific properties, see which ones are the ones that are bothering you, and how that thing keeps coming up in your thoughts and actions and so on. So what you need to do is to understand that and address them. I would suggest you to read the 10 Commandments of Yoga by Sri Guruji, where he beautifully explains how to deal with others in the yamas and how to deal with yourself in the 5 niyamas. And so that gives you that purification when you practice that. And slowly, you will see those negatives reduce, and you will be progressing further. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba. So the next question, actually next 4 questions are from New Jersey. And the first one is, if we can hear the sound all the time, is there any modification to the Om meditation? I'll take that one. Of course, we don't go into the techniques here, but just a general answer would be there, that if you can hear the sounds all the time, so during the Om technique, if you are hearing the sounds, you may choose not to put your index fingers and in the ears, and without that, you could continue listening to the sounds, or you can put the index fingers in. So it's optional, but that's the answer. Other perspective on this?
It's good, Baba.
Okay, excellent.
I would just say, for the practitioner to understand, what is this sound? It's not just an interesting phenomenon. Say, oh yeah, there's some sound. No, this is Nada Brahma. This is the voice of God. So perceiving the sound, we should embrace the sound with love. We should really go deep into that sound, as deep as we can. Be very grateful, loving for this opportunity. Oh, my Father, oh, my Gurus, I hear your voice. These are not just interesting phenomena, sound, light, vibration. This is divine, qualities of the divine. So our attitude can change as we perceive it, and then we can go deeper into it. That's what I would recommend.
One other thing I would add is, you may hear a sound when you are not closing your ears. I hear a different sound when I close the ears. Sometimes I love to hear that sound. And there's a third sound that comes by itself. So whatever the sound that comes, go deeper into that, the second, that sound that came later. and go into that, just like John Baba said, merge into that and become one with it, and go into meditation if you can, if at all possible, in any situation. But if you could meditate, thank God. Thank God. And, thank that you are talking to me. I'm so happy. Thank you. And then try to practice it another time, when you can, to go deeper into that into that sound. That sound will take you to that ultimate state of realization. That alone can take you. It's a beautiful tool, just like the others, just like the light as well as vibrations, the sound as well. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is, in the silent meditation, what can help to prevent mind from wandering between the thoughts? It's a great question. However, it is more technique related. So what we will do is we'll respond to this question by email to the person who asked directly. So we'll move on to the next question. Is there any indication of progress from technical perspective, besides being calmer and more mindful of life overall? What I mean is, specifically over the course of the meditation, what are the indications of progress? That's the question. And John Baba, you want to take that?
Yes, Baba. First, as far as the technical aspect, what will happen is, as you practice deeply, you feel more settled into it. Almost as if your body was stone, stiff. You get settled into it. But I really think that what's more important is the other aspect, not the technical, is your change. Gurudev would always say, what is your change? What is your change? We should ask ourselves constantly, what is my change? Many times people would come to Gurudev and even say to him, oh, Baba, I had this vision and a dream, I'm having this and it. And Baba would say, he said, are you more loving? Do you have more patience for others? Do you feel more compassion? Those are the signs that you are growing, that you are not these other things. So Kriya Yoga is really for your deeper change. We have the technique, as Baba said so nicely, the different aspects of our sadhana. Technique every day. We're practicing. And then perceiving Kriya and Ya. Everywhere, in daily life, all the time. Oh, he is doing, he is here, he is there, and he is within. So this will happen more if the person asking this is new in Kriya. Yes, you will have a more feeling a settled feeling of that. But more than that, check yourself. With certain situations, maybe you used to be angry and yell at things, and now you're perceiving. Because what happens with Kriya? With Kriya, an emotion comes, a thought comes, we actually see it first. We say, oh, this is coming. If I let this go, I will become angry. I'm not going to do that. Or this is coming. So we perceive things before we act on them. So this is another thing that will happen. So practice more. Go ahead.
Srinidhi Baba.
Yeah, Baba has explained beautifully. So that keeping that calmness, love all the time, that shows how do you deal with negative situations? How do you deal with people who could be, antagonist and challenging? How do you deal with, everyday situations? And those are things that show you, can you deal with them in that peace and calmfulness? And if you're able to do that, that shows progress. It's like Baba says, it's not, oh, I got these wonderful experiences. Okay, those experiences come. That's fine. Love it. Thank God for it. But the thing is, the growth is in the change that you have. That's the key aspect. And so if the change is happening within you, and in fact, even it's recognized by others around you, That shows that you are really growing. Again, don't get too proud of yourself anytime. Pride doesn't help you. Keep that humility, keep that being humble. And humility, being humble, grows, increases your spiritual progress, increases your love to God and goodness. Okay. Always keep that in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. So the next question is, what is the best way to get into the meditation mode? I think we have covered this, but Srinidhi Baba, would you take it again?
Yeah. A few things I would suggest. I mean, I talked about the micro step before, but do one thing, few things that I would suggest. First of all, fix a time for meditation. Try to keep, when mind is disciplined to meditate at a certain time, it will not rebel, it will naturally come to you. And so, in fact, sometimes some of the, like, for example, divine sound may start to, uh, come up even if you're delayed a little bit. That happens to me. If I'm delayed a little bit in my meditation, I hear a certain flute sound, that kind of beckons me to start meditating. So the fix a particular time for meditation, and that will help you to control the mind. Secondly, watching that breath. I know we forget the breath. Watching the breath. Watching the breath as much as possible gets you into a divine mood within that helps you and aids you in your meditation as well. So try to do that. Thirdly, read the inspiring lives of realized masters. They have overcome so many challenges. I mean, Lahiri Baba, look at him. He was doing 2 jobs. At the same time, he was initiating, guiding all the time. If he could do it, we can manage to do some of that at least. So read the inspiring lives of these masters, and that helps you to instill that feeling of, we need to practice. Of course, the other thing is control the distractions. We get distracted by the social media, constantly looking at stuff, whether it is TV or movies or social media. These things are distractions. Be very careful in terms of very disciplined in your time management. Guruji, take the example of Guruji, how carefully he manages his time. He doesn't, spend one bit on anything. He is very disciplined, extremely disciplined. That's the discipline we need to keep in mind, at least get to that, close to that point. We may not be able to achieve what he can achieve, but at least, be disciplined very much. And of course, finally, tell the mind, I'm sitting for meditation. I am not going to compromise on that. Control the mind. Mind has to be your slave, not your master. Make sure that and firmly sit for meditation and practice. Thank you.
I was just thinking what you were saying, Baba. Guruji has the same 24 hours that we do. I think, oh God, what do I do with my 24 hours? And every second, you're right, every second. All I wanted to add was that the meditation is, the more you meditate, the more you will want to meditate. It will call you. It brings you in. So all of these other points that Srinidhi Baba says, they're correct. Do it more, practice more. You'll feel the benefit. You won't want to go any day that you, for some reason, if you don't meditate, you'll say, oh God, I really feel the difference in my day. So that's all.
So speaking of Guruji's time, 24 hours a day, Guruji meditates 10 hours a day, or he meditates all the time, but 10 hours a day he's by himself meditating. He writes 5 to 7 books a year. He takes 100+ flights a year. So he comes to us all over the world where we are to teach us and be with us. So that's Guruji's time. See how much he's accomplished.
And he's bringing so much joy to everyone. So he's sharing all of that with everyone.
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so the next question is, During my sadhana, during my practice, I'm often drawn to an energy center above the Sahasrara chakra, right above. And does this center, the so-called eighth chakra, play a role in Kriya sadhana? So this question is very technique specific. So we'll respond to it by email, and you should expect the email sometime today. Okay, the next one comes from Bonn, Germany. And the question is, I am wondering how to relate to Nirguna Brahman through silence, being consciously aware, silently feeling gratitude, listening to the inner Om. And the comment she makes is prayer like talking as a child to the father, mother to a mother or friend, or somehow accompanied with the feeling of limitation. So basically, Srinidhi Baba, would you explain what Nirguna Brahman is and then answer the question?
Yeah, Nirguna Brahman it means God without attributes. Normally, when we love God in a certain way, like today is the birthday of Lord Krishna, right? So you love Krishna in the particular form that has been depicted, by various artists. So that is obviously a limiting physical form, and that's a form with certain attributes. But God is so loving, although the God is really formless, he or she will appear to you when you sincerely, meditate in that particular form you love. Now, to relate to Nirguna Brahma, I mean, the triple divine qualities are clearly the essence of those Nirguna Brahma. So observing those triple divine qualities, watching the breath with love, to as much as possible, you will forget, but watching the breath with love and remembering God in that, formless form of the God. Essentially, there's a Soham technique, right? You basically, every inhalation you take, so you say Saha, and the exhalation will be Aham. That's the Soham technique. You can practice that. You can just think of Om, or you can just not even think of anything, just observe the breath with love. So that is another way to relate to Brahman. Now, also, when you do any kind of prayers or chanting, do that with two things: watching the breath, at the same time understanding the meaning of the prayer that you're doing. That gives you the essence, the power of the prayer much stronger, gives you the effect. So finally, you know, being humble and giving everything that whatever you do, offering everything to God. So these are the ways to relate to Nirguna Brahman. Just there are many more ways, but just giving you a few of those.
It's a good explanation, Baba. And all I can add to that, I remember Gurudev going like this. God is form and formless at the same time. So he would show us, he would say, this, what you're seeing, this is form. And behind that is God, formless. So understand that behind all that you see, all of these things that are happening, behind that is God. So this is Nirguna, Saguna and Nirguna. So you realize this is what's really going on. The other phrase he would say, you are to go beyond the veil of nature's splendor. So yes, nature is spectacular, marvelous. Oh, we love it. Yes, it's all right to love it. This is also God's creation, but understand that he is behind it, doing all of this. So it adds a lot of depth to our practice when we perceive that.
Excellent. Excellent. So the next question is from New York, and it says, can you please give advice as how to deal with sexual energy? I'm often distracted by sexual thoughts and fantasies. During a recent checkup with my doctor, I learned that my testosterone is very high, so that may provide a physical explanation. But how can I deal with it spiritually? I practice Kriya once in the morning every day and in the evening when I'm able. So first of all, I want to thank this person for asking this question. It takes, sometimes we try to hide these kind of questions because they're awkward. We may not want to discuss that. And instead, this person asked that question because many people would be struggling with that. And this is helping those people who are struggling. So thank you for asking this question. So I'll take that. So externally, one can help by, as Srinidhi Baba was saying, the distractions from television, from YouTube, the videos. So you want to be careful externally, not watching these kind of videos, YouTube, movies, Netflix. So you want to be really be careful because that could trigger those thoughts. When you have a thought, by the way, I recommend reading Guruji's book, Know Your Mind, which beautifully explains this, is that when you have a thought, it just gets started. It's coming from our history, from past experiences, past lives, this life. It may be in subconscious, and that thought comes. If you let that thought continue, that becomes a flow of thoughts. It becomes a river of thoughts. And now it becomes a passion. It takes over you. It's very hard at that point to stop it. So the other way you could stop that is as the thought comes, let it not grow. Stop it right there. Don't pay any attention to that thought, and that thought would disappear. So there are some things you could do like this. The objective of Kriya Yoga is to go from lower centers to the higher centers. So the bottom five centers, which we all have more attachment, maybe little less on one center than the other. So in your case, maybe the second center, which is the sex center, has more affinity. And the objective of Kriya Yoga is through the techniques, through following Kriya Yoga, we want to transcend ourselves from the bottom centers to the higher centers. And the higher centers, the soul center and the fontanelle, the God centers. So this is a challenge, but through Kriya, through meditation, through your elevating from lower centers into the higher centers, that could be better managed. Guruji explains beautifully about centrifugal and centripetal force. So when you are in that obsessive mind, the centrifugal force takes over. And that force is so powerful, right? You are going in circle and it's throwing you out externally. And it's once you are in that mode of external, that is very hard to come back within you. But that's what Kriya Yoga teaches us, how to take our senses, focusing externally, to how do we take them focus internally. So by practicing meditation sincerely, you could get that focus, external focus from our senses going outside into inside. So that'll be the centripetal force. So to overcome the centrifugal force, Gurudev explains beautifully that you have to uh, practice Kriya Yoga, practice meditation, and reverse that direction from centrifugal to centripetal force. So by meditating, by bringing your lower chakras to higher chakras, by purifying your centers, and through meditation, you could reach that state. We have our experiences from many past lives, and that right now may be more prevalent or prominent. And through sincere prayers, you could also purify the second center and transform them. So the masters, the people who have reached higher state, they all have transcended their sexual energy into spiritual energy. So with that, I'm going to open up for John Baba and Srinidhi Baba, if you want to add.
Baba?
Sure, Baba, go ahead.
All that I would add to that, if we think about, besides the thoughts and all, if we think of this as physical, as energy, let's think of it like that. I would recommend for this person, do more cycles of Mahamudra. Start with that. More and more and more. Sit one day alone, do a nice 7 or do 12. But do that. Help balance all of these energies. These thoughts will quiet down as the energies become they go into equilibrium, in more balance. That's just one tip that I would give to this person.
Let me add to that. There is, the aspect of Upati. Upati is thinking higher thoughts. Basically, like John Baba said, if you practice, you're basically trying to divert that sexual energy into the higher centers, the higher states. So the Upati is essentially to replace your lower thoughts by thinking about a higher level thought, and saying, how can I use this energy to help others, for example? How do I see the world? Why am I seeing the world as, sexual objects and fantasies and so on? And instead, see them with love, see people as your, mothers, sisters, or your daughters, for that matter, depending upon your age. So there is the outlook that you want to develop. Now, there is another thing that I want to mention. Swami Samarpan beautifully explained when he visited us. He said, whenever there is, any kind of a negative direction, negative thoughts, negative feeling that tries to take you away, right? He says, follow 3 things. 1, delay. Don't give in immediately. Delay that immediate, to pursue that aspect, and don't just immediately jump into the clutches of that particular thought. Secondly, then after you delay, next step is to deny. The mind, you need to say, no, I'm not going there. I'm definitely not going there. This is not the path that I want to take. I know I have been doing this for years and years because of my tendencies, but now, not anymore. And the final aspect is destroy. Destroy the thing, which will take time. But, if you keep doing the delay and the deny, slowly the destroy can take place eventually. Thank you.
Thank you, Baba.
So in other words, instead of mind running you, you run the mind.
Yeah.
The next question then is, can you please clarify ideal meditation time? Is it 2 hours before sunrise and before bedtime? John Baba, you want to take that question?
Yeah, the time very early in the morning, the Brahma Muhurta, will in time in your practice, it will wake you up. All of a sudden, 4 o'clock in the morning or so, your eyes open up and you're awake, and you say, well, I'm awake, everybody's sleeping. This is the perfect time, and you sit and you practice. If you're new in the practice, you may wake yourself up, but in time you don't need an alarm clock. It is just a natural process. This is the shift of the energies between one phase of the day and the other phase, right? So in the evening and early morning, the twilight phase, and you sit, and this is an auspicious time for you to do your practice. At night, yeah, remember that you've had your whole day and you have food in your belly, and if you're going to practice in the evening, practice before dinner. Otherwise, it's more difficult. But if we think about our busy lives also, besides that auspicious time that we said for early morning when it wakes you up, during the day, anytime, you have this feeling and you think, oh, I'm going to practice. Even a small meditation, I'll practice. You go do. Okay. Make this as natural as possible. What are you doing? What is your meditation? You are joining with your beloved. Think of this as something you want to do. This is part of who you are. The world has all kinds of distractions, as we've talked about, all kinds of demands. We're filled with responsibilities, but there's something we do it out of love. Real discipline, when it's for something that we love, it's not so heavy. It's not so terrible. So it becomes a natural part of what you do. So make it that way.
Excellent. So Phil Baba, it's 1 hour and we have a couple questions, 3-4 questions left. Can we continue? I think.
Yes, you can continue as long as you need.
Okay. So we may combine couple questions to speed it up, but here is a question. Why did God create a process of soul evolution? If God is all powerful, couldn't he have made a fully evolved from the beginning? Could he have not made us fully evolved from the beginning? So that's the first question. And I'm going to combine that with the second question so we can answer those two together as they're relevant. Why should we strive to speed up our soul evolution? Okay, John Baba, you want to take it?
I'm laughing because with the question, what fun would it be if everything was perfect and we were all perfect and we all knew we were perfect? It would be no fun. It's this struggle. It's this yin and yang. It's this pushing and pulling and striving to go forward. This is what makes it beautiful. So then there's an accomplishment, and then we may fall, and then we get up and there's another accomplishment. So this is all God's lila. God is having fun. He's made all this, and if this is God's play, then we are God's playmates. So if we take it like that, we say, all right, this is the name of the game. We are to evolve. We are to evolve to be who we really are and have always been in essence. And this same force that has put us here is holding our hand and carrying us along. And in our life, we have been so blessed by having real gurus come and guide us, and they're guaranteeing our success, right? The destiny of every human being is to one day reach realization. Every single human being. So this is the whole evolutionary process. Creation was the opposite direction, and now we're going back to the source. So all I would say is, what fun would it be if everything was just set and then no struggle? It would not be any fun. So I'm saying to this person, see it for what it is. And it's a search for who you are. The Sufis have a wonderful phrase. The Sufis say, that which you are seeking is also seeking you. So the same divine is also looking for you. He's saying, come, my child, come. I think it was Ramana Maharshi who had said that you take one step toward God, he takes 10 steps in your direction. Just saying, come. This is the nature of the game. So do it with love. Do it more than just acceptance, but do it with love. Say, all right, this is why I'm here. And engage in that way. That's all I would say.
Well said. Yeah. So God is not a dictator. God is he believes in free will. It's up to us to transform our life. God can help, but God is not going to dictate us. The God has created this beautiful, system of karma, theory of karma, right? So here you go. You are your action, and your action gives you the reaction, and then you have to work through that. So it's entirely in your hands. God can help you, but you have to transform your life. Go ahead, Srinidhi.
Kaushal Baba,
Yeah.
our Temple of Peace program starts at 10 o'clock,
Okay.
a little 5 minutes past. So I think the questions are almost answered. So I will go ahead and drop off.
Okay.
And
Thank you so much for joining us.
Srinidhi Baba, 1 minute. Are you on your way to the airport to come to South America? We're waiting to have you down here, Baba. Did he cancel? I think he's coming this month to Colombia. Oh,
I think he's in Samadhi.
that's a nice picture of him. Okay, okay. So we can continue then, Baba.
So, the next question is, it's a long email with setting the background, basically. So very quickly going over the background before the question, this person is talking about going through some tough times. Mother passed away and then moved into a smaller apartment, looking for a job, working with weight loss, and at the same time, continue with the practice of Kriya. For 1 year, she is every day practicing sincerely, at least once a day. And but she's finding that through all this, she is here. Let me just read the question. Uh, After explaining the situation, I don't see anything when I'm doing my sadhana. I hear divine sound and I see divine light. And at the end of the meditation, but I don't astral travel or see the future or visualize anything. I've been doing Kriya for a year. I have seen positive changes. Things definitely have gotten better. And even if I am grateful and do it since I wake up until I go to sleep, I do feel despondent. Meaning I feel a little bit discouraged. I feel maybe depressed. And I do wish to use my gifts and talents to help others and to support myself. And I can't help but to want more. So basically, she is asking a lot of questions. But John Baba,
I
take it.
know. I read this too, Baba. My first response for this mother. Mother, simplify. Simplify, simplify. You're trying too hard. It's beautiful and noble that you are trying so many different things. You've gone through all of these different phases. Changing a residence is very stressful. Losing a loved one is very stressful. All of this. In the meantime, I see that you're teaching and coaching and you're doing and you're learning new things and taking courses. All right, I understand. The world puts so many demands on us. And then on top of that, we put so many more. My suggestion for you is just simplify your life. All of these things are very good. They're nice. I don't know a lot of these other things you do before you do your Kriya in the morning, these different mantras and this and that. I don't know. Even that, though, it's sort of what I mentioned before. I know Kriya. You do Kriya, it'll be fine. It'll help you. And Kriya is not for you to see, have visions of the future and all of this astral travel and things like that. No, that's not the purpose. The purpose is you go towards, you perceive who you truly are. If you are divine in essence, this is what gurus say. So this is what you should perceive. You should go towards that. Don't worry about all of these other things. You are seeing some light, good. But I told you even before when we said perceiving light, hearing sound, embrace that with love. Embrace the light with love. So, God, I'm your child. I am in your hands. Besides the word simplify, Mama, I would also say surrender. Surrender to that. In the worldly life today, in the modern life, we think, no, we have to do. Yeah, we have to be disciplined and things like that. But let go. Surrender and make your times to do these things. Do your work, do your teaching, do all this kind of stuff. Do your practice. But I think if you try a different strategy, it will help you, because this strategy, what you've been doing, it doesn't seem like it's brought you too much peace and calmness. On the contrary, okay? But remember, you are initiated. Gurus are behind you. They're there to help you. Sometimes things stop, like we lose a job and this and that. And we say, why did this happen to me? Well, it happened for a purpose. Maybe the divine is saying, stop, hold on, take a good look. Take a deep breath, take a good look at what you've been doing, and you readjust your flight plan. You readjust it. to do this, make some simple things. You will feel that there's progress, and heartfully surrender to the divine. Okay? Don't have to do so many things. Later, you could do other courses and things like that if they fit into your schedule, but don't overburden yourself. I was reading this, I felt sad. I said, oh, she's doing too much, too much. If you were my daughter, this would be what I would say to you. But you're a Kriya, so even more so. Just do what you can do, but focus on your practice. It will help you a lot. Jai Guru.
Thank you, John Baba. The next question, this is the last question. And first is, how can I establish my progress in meditation, which we already have explained. So I'm going to skip that one. And the next one is, I recently heard Guruji say that just because a teacher has initiated you into Kriya Yoga does not mean that he has accepted you as a disciple. How do I know if he has accepted me as a disciple? Okay, so I'll take that question. To be accepted by Guruji as a disciple, focus on your practice. It is the Kriya practice which builds that relationship with your Guru, and it becomes firmer. So when you meet Guruji, that is a divine experience, and it's a lot of fun, and being there in presence is really great. But your sincere practice will solidify that bond. So with that, I think we are going to stop here and ask John Baba, since we are running out of time, John Baba, how about a quick
Little bit.
quick meditation?
Okay. So everyone, thank you so much for coming today. Let's tie it up in the proper way. Everyone, please close your eyes. And feel the gentle breath, very gentle. Om Sahana Bhavatu, Sahano Bhunaktu, Sahaviryam Karavavahai, Tejasvi Namati Tamastu, Madhvi Vishavahai. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Just perceiving this gentle breath, this feeble breath, as Gurudev would say. Perceive that. And you can ask, who is breathing? Who is breathing? He is breathing in me. It was only God that took the first inhalation, and it will only be God who will turn your last exhalation in this life. He is doing. So perceive this breath with love. Each one. Just start with that. Gentle breath. Now let's direct it. Inhale, slow, long, and deep. Exhale, slow, long, deep. Inhale, slow, long, deep inhalation. Exhale, the same way. And just continue like this. Slow, long, deep inhalations, exhalations. Each one you're focusing on. The mind is focused only on this. It's not fragmented in thinking of 10 things, only the breath. Only the breath. Watch as it's inhaling, watch as it's exhaling. Just a little more. Now take a slow, long, deep inhalation. Hold and bend forward, please. Exhale, normal conscious breathing as we are bending forward. with love. Dhyanamulam Guru Murti, Pujamulam Guru Padam, Mantramulam Guru Vakyam, Mokshamulam Guru Kripa, Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devu Maheshwaraha, Guru Saksha Param Brahma, Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Guru is the root of all our practice and all accomplishments. Not far from us, inside us, closer than close. So be humble, be loving, surrender to that. We're so fortunate. Keep focusing on this gentle breath. Again, take a long, deep inhalation up. Inhale up to the top, hold, and then slowly sit up, spine straight. Exhale. Focusing on the point between the eyebrows. Now, when you inhale, inhale love. And you exhale, exhale peace. Inhaling love, exhaling peace. Inhale love, exhale peace, and continue this way. You're giving the attributes of love and peace. God is love, God is peace. And continue like this. Only this moment is important. There's no past, there's no future. There's only the present. There's only this breath. This is yoga. This is union. Joining with the Heavenly Father. A little more, just a bit more. Leave the turbulence of the surface and dive deep, deep into the stillness. Gentle breath. Sarvam Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Tat Tvam Asi. And thou art that. Aham Brahmasmi. You are Brahma. Om Purnamadam Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, balance, and love for our families, for our countries, all humanity, which is going through such a challenging phase. Peace, balance, love, and harmony in all the natural world, in the forests, in the oceans, in the mountains, and all the creatures there. And peace, calmness, love, and balance all throughout the universe. We are all children of the same Heavenly Father. Asking for the blessings of God and Gurus for all of us. I humbly bow to the divine in each and every one of you, and thank God for the opportunity to serve. Jai Guru, Jai Guru. Jai Guru Baba.
Jai Guru. So that concludes today's program, and God and Gurus bless us all.
Thank you.